everybody's welfare. Dark was the night and weird the atmosphere. It rained from time to time. Gusts of wind shook the trees. Between thunderclaps and the mourning of jackals could be heard the ghostly laughter of spirits. Flashes of lightning revealed fearsome faces. But King Vikram did not divert a bit. He climbed the ancient tree and brought the corpse down. However, as soon as he began crossing the desolate cremation ground with the corpse lying on his shoulder, the vampire that possessed the corpse spoke. O king, normally you should be enjoying a good sleep at this hour of night. Instead of doing that, what makes you go through this strange rite? It looks as though you are acting at the behest of some yogi. Sometimes rogues will pose as sannyasis or yogis and take people for a ride. Mind you, those wielding real power are few and far between. To prove my statement, I shall tell you a story. Listen carefully. The vampire then began his narration. There was once a person called Gunasekhar. He was one day sitting in the porch of his house reading ancient books. A mendicant came that way. I'm hungry, sir. Could I have something to eat? Gunasekhar looked at him from head to toe for some time, without responding to his request for food. What benefit would I get if I gave you something? The question did not worry the mendicant. I'm a sannyasi, he replied calmly. I don't have any desires or any need for worldly pleasures. If you give me food, you will be blessed throughout your life. Even when you die, that good deed will continue to bless you. You will attain salvation. Gunasekhar was not convinced. There are many other ways to earn blessings, he countered. I can worship God, I can make offerings to the God, I can even read holy books, and none of them will call for any expenditure. He paused for a while to await the mendicant's reaction, and then continued. If I have to give you alms, I must get two boons. One, I must enjoy prosperity. Two, my neighbor Gnanasekhar should become a pauper. The mendicant now spoke. I can bless you with prosperity, but I cannot cast any curse on your neighbor. Remember one thing, it's a sin to wish misfortune for another person. Gunasekhar was furious. He shouted at the mendicant, if that be so, you may go. I don't have anything to give you, food or money. The mendicant went away silently. All the while, Gunashekar's wife was listening to the conversation between her husband and the mendicant. How cruel were you to that man? After all, he had offered to give you one boon and we would have led a prosperous life. You have no idea what will happen now. He would go to our neighbor Gyanashekhar and bless him, and we can watch him grow prosperous day by day. She stared at her husband. We have lost everything while our neighbor will gain everything, all because of your stupid behavior. What do you know? Remarked Gunashekhar with laughter. You are a simpleton. Do you think people like him are sannyasis with magic powers? They go about begging for a morsel of food. Could anybody who can grant such boons go about asking for alms? You are merely carried away by his appearance as a sannyasi. All right, his wife protested. Then let me ask you something. I hope you have no objection. Why then did you detain him so long talking to him? You could have sent him away in the beginning itself. Ah, I had my own reason for that, said Gunasekhar. He had come here hungry for food. I wanted to see whether he would get angry if provoked. Hunger can sometimes turn a man angry. I wanted to prove that. Suppose he had granted both boons. His wife persisted in arguing. That's another matter, retorted Gunasekhar. Some sannyasis are also capable of doing harm to others. They can curse them. I was trying to find out whether this man had such capability. I was sure he did not have it. Meanwhile, the mendicant reached the house of Gnanasekhar. I'm hungry. Could I have something to eat? He called out to the hearing of the people inside. Gnanasekhar came and opened the door. He appeared very happy. He welcomed the sannyasi. Ah, how blessed I am! Today is a golden day for me. I was hoping I would see someone like you, and you have come just in time to partake of a feast. My grandfather was a philanthropist. He had distributed all his wealth among the poor. Today, we remember that great man. It is his death anniversary. Please join us. He then led the mendicant inside. After eating the food along with Gyanashekhar and the members of his family, the mendicant expressed his pleasure. What a sumptuous feast! I am so happy that I was able to come here today. Please tell me what boon you would like to have. Don't hesitate. Swami, it was my good fortune that I had someone like you to share our joy on this occasion, said Gyanashekhar with folded hands. I was able to give you a meal. If you are happy and satisfied, I have no desire for anything more. Oh, what humility, what modesty, remarked the mendicant. But I must say something. Today I was your guest, and you have entertained me without any reservation. A guest is like a god, and it's only proper if the god decides to hand a boon. So you may unhesitatingly tell me what your wish is. Only after that I would leave this place. Gyanashekhar was in a dilemma. He consulted his family. Swami, it's many years since my father passed away. My mother could not bear the loss and she fell ill, and she is still bedridden. We wish she was once again hale and hearty. If you can grant this wish of ours, that will be the greatest boon we could think of. The mendicant thought for a while. You are really great. You have several good traits, but they are your worst enemies. If you can give up those traits, your mother may regain health. That's the best antidote to her illness. Are you willing to sacrifice something for her sake? Gyanashekhar could not understand the significance of what the mendicant said. He remained staring at his face. Swami, I am sorry, I don't know what you mean. The mendicant then praised his family and house and said, I have a tablet with me. If you were to wish for only one of them, even that would not materialize. I shall give you the tablet and you may wish for two things. One, your mother should regain her health, and two, misfortune should overtake your neighbor. I have a reason for saying this. Your neighbor really wishes that all harm should come to you and there should be a decline in your present prosperity. So if you were to wish similar things to happen to him, it wouldn't be any sin. What do you say? Swami, you could have given the tablet to him, observed Gyanashekhar. I would have been only happy to see him prosper. I just cannot think of any harm coming to my neighbor. I don't mind if my mother doesn't recover. We will just take that in our stride. No, I won't accept the tablet from you. Gunasekhar doesn't deserve the tablet, the mendicant insisted. I can't give it to him, whereas you deserve it very much. Please take it. You will become more prosperous. Neighbors like Gunasekhar who don't mean well for you will soon go away. If you don't accept the tablet from me, I will take it as an insult. The mendicant placed the tablet in Gyanashekhar's palm and went away. Now Gyanashekhar was in a worse dilemma. Having accepted the tablet, he did not want to throw it away. So he swallowed it and said loudly, Let my mother recover from her illness. Let this house become a bungalow. His wife reminded him, Didn't he tell you that the second wish should be something damaging to our neighbor? If you change from that, even the first wish will not be fulfilled. We may even suffer setbacks. Gyanashekhar did not argue with her, because to their great surprise, his mother got up from her bed and walked towards them by herself. She appeared to be quite well. Everybody was happy. Mother, you're no longer ill. We are all greatly relieved. Before they realized what was happening, their modest house now looked like a little bungalow. Everybody rushed out to take a good look at the two-storied building. Even the passers-by stopped to stare at the building which had sprung up just like that. Among the onlookers was Gunasekhar. There was a look of wonder on his face. There was a tinge of jealousy when he heaved a heavy sigh. The vampire concluded his narration there and turned to King Vikramaditya. O king, I have a doubt. The mendicant came as a beggar and asked for food as he was hungry. But he was no ordinary beggar. He possessed some extraordinary powers. He gave a tablet to Gyanashekhar. He told him he could wish for prosperity for himself and misfortune for another, and that both would materialize. He also warned him that if he were to wish for only one of them, even that wish would not be fulfilled. Moreover, he might even be visited by misfortune. Gyanashekhar was aware of the import of these directions. Still, he swallowed the pill and wished for two things, both of which were to bring happiness and contentment to him. He was thus not heeding the warning given to him by the mendicant. However, both his wishes were fulfilled, and no harm came to him as predicted by the mendicant. How would you explain this anomaly? If you know the answer and yet do not satisfy me, need I warn you what will happen to you? Your head will be blown to pieces. Vikramaditya thought for a while and said, both the mendicant and Gnanasekhar were noble hearted souls. Even though Gunasekhar refused to give any food or alms to mendicant, he did not curse him. That shows his greatness. Gnanasekhar was one who would not harm another person. So he wished for only his own happiness and prosperity. The mendicant was really testing him. He was certain that Gnanasekhar would never want any harm come to another person. So such a person need not be afraid of anybody or anything. That's how Gnanasekhar came out successful in the test. He firmly believed that it is always better to wish for good things for oneself than bad things to happen to others. The vampire realized that Vikramaditya had outsmarted him again. He flew back to the ancient city carrying the corpse with him. The king drew his sword and went after the vampire. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.